Shut up and sit down.
All right, welcome back to On The Sidelines. I'm your host, Bryan Ross. Today I got with me a very special guest. I can say I had the honor of growing up with him, Alan Brown. I appreciate you being on, man.
Dude. I'm proud of you for doing this, dude. It's going to be cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
I appreciate that, man. I wanted to get into with you about your, I know you're very musically inclined. You are the guitarist for the band Dividends, who is all over the tri-state area here, doing a lot of shows. It's really awesome what you guys are doing. Love your music. Kind of wanted to get into, they've got some shows coming up. I know you told me they've got at the V Club, June 21st in Huntington.
June 21st, yeah. It's going to be with the Parachute Brigade, which are from Beckley. We're good friends with those guys and girls. They're like, how do you explain them? I mean, like, if you've heard the Killers do Mr. Brightside, basically
that's awesome.
take them and put a bunch of beautiful harmonies and a bunch of beautiful people and women on the stage doing it. And they're just incredible.
Yeah.
Think like the Killers, kind of, with a bunch of really crazy harmonies. And our good friends in Hello June from Morgantown and a couple different places. They're from all over the place. But it's gonna be like a women's night. It's gonna be like ladies' night, because they're all like
nice.
front led by chicks.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be we might push it as that, actually. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good show. Hello June and the Parachute Brigade and the Dividends at the V Club in Huntington. It's gonna be our first time in Huntington for a little while, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So go check out the Dividends at the V Club. You guys also have one coming up in Charleston, June 29th, the festival. Kind of, are you guys playing with anybody there, or?
A festival is kind of like it's a multi-day, almost like a whole month in Charleston, where there's just art and music and everything. So we're playing, I wish I knew the times off the top of my head, but we're playing 2 acoustic sets sometime in the middle of the day, but it's posted everywhere. I'm sure we'll probably share it and promote it when we get a little bit closer to it. But yeah, if anyone is checking this out and you haven't been to any of the festival stuff, Charleston turns into like freaking... Like, what's the name of the place where they do Mardi Gras?
New Orleans.
Yes,
right?
New Orleans.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
like just crazy. I mean, it's just it transforms, and it's just wild and fun. Then that same night on June 29th, after the acoustic stuff, we're playing at the Pride Festival in Huntington, and that's going to be awesome. You know, I want to make sure that we're allied with that, and if anyone has a problem with it, sorry, but we don't care. Just,
we don't care.
We're there to support.
I remember that same night, as Alan was saying, the Pride Festival, June 29th going on. It's for a great cause. It's good people, good cause. So check it out. So being off, talking about the Dividends, I kind of wanted to get into your relationship with music, your influences with music, and kind of really how you got started in it, because I can honestly say that through social media and through knowing you since we've been younger, I've seen your, maybe not firsthand, but I've seen your musical talent and prowess kind of grow, and it's an awesome thing to watch. And I'm sure has a lot to do with your work ethic and why you guys are much more successful and becoming much more successful every day. So I was interested to kind of see, where that comes from for you.
No one that I know of I know a couple people in my family that I'm not like super close with. Like I'm not like immediate family that I can think of. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 people, but that are musically inclined. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, my Uncle Butch from Columbus plays like saxophone or something, but I mean, like I've never seen him play it, so I didn't even know that till he found out we had a band. So no one in my family that I know of is musical. But I remember, I mean, I've always loved music. Everyone loves music, or hates it, I guess. But everyone loves music.
Not everyone has talent, though. So that's the difference there.
So I was trying to think back to the high school days. So I started playing guitar in 2008. Yeah. Started in 2008, and I was with Nick Allen, and I actually play with his band now as well. I play guitar with him when I can. And we had a band called Unlock, and it was horrible. And we joke about it.
You said it was horrible.
We joke about it every single time we're together, I'm pretty sure.
So what was the real quick though? I kind of want to dive into this Unlock band. What was the music?
So we wanted to be a Christian rock band. Yeah. Boy. And so there are people that can do that well, but I don't know that you talk about just people that were on different paths of their life at all points. So like musically bonding wasn't a thing. And we were all first starting with our instruments, and I didn't even play an instrument yet when I was in that band.
Right.
So it was me singing, who had never really sang in front of people, and Nick playing a couple chords. We had David Bickett, I think, playing bass, Jay Graham playing drums. Eventually Trevin played drums, Trevin Hanna's. And
he's got some skill on the drum set.
He can chop it, dude.
Yeah,
but like, take his like crazy gospel, like just out, really fast drumming to like our bare musical knowledge and people who have never written songs together. It was bad. And I'm pretty sure there is a video. I cannot access my MySpace still. I have tried and tried, but there is a video.
I'd like to see.
We still have the MySpace page up there.
Yeah.
And but to be fair, I was working the system back in the day, because there's a place in Chesapeake called Pepperoni's. They had pepperoni rolls and pizza, everything.
They were great.
They endorsed us, and so we went and painted their building. We advertised them on our MySpace, and anytime we practiced, they gave us free pizza. And I'm not talking about just like a slice. I'm talking about the huge 18-inch with 2 liters and everything.
That's the best kind of sponsor.
Every week we had food for practice. It was banging.
Yeah.
So we advertised them on our MySpace, if that tells you anything.
That's awesome.
But no, in all seriousness, I think being around Nick, he was probably the first person that got me to pick up a guitar. Him, and then, believe it or not, Paul Martin from high school. He played, and he would bring a guitar to school sometimes. And I was like, man, I just want to do that. Like, and he would teach me a couple things. So Paul Martin and Nick Allen were my first musical people that were like, man, like I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know jack about anything, but
I know they I know those two kind of helped you. But would you say you were more of a kind of self-taught in a way? I mean, you obviously, I know they helped you through the way and kind of helped you where you were struggling in areas or whatever. But would you say you kind of self-taught there?
That'd be fair. I mean, self-taught is loose because, like, I don't know, I'd find everything on YouTube. Yeah. Or I would just, I learn by ear more than anything now.
Right.
And so I think self-taught would be pretty fair. But yeah, they got me interested in it. And then when I finally got a guitar, shout out to my mother, Christmas 2009.
Shout out to Kawana.
Kawana Brown, what up?
Yeah.
And so she got me a Fender acoustic guitar. CD60 is the model number. And
that's where it all started.
That's where it all started, man. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's why, I've as I said before, I've watched it, and it's been so awesome seeing, because you can tell the passion you have for it, and you can tell through the dividends and everything else you do, the passion. And you've done some other podcasts as well, and the passion you have for music, it's really infectious, really, and it's
Thank you.
It's really awesome. As far as the dividends, who as a band, who would you say? And I know you don't like to put them in a box, because you can't really, and that's how the band is good. Who would you say the Dividends influences are? And if you could put them in some type of box, what box would you put them in?
Yeah, it's got like a rock and soul and kind of R&B kind of mix and everything. When we had to give the CD distribution stuff, they have you pick 2 genres. Yeah. So we did rock and R&B. And that's about as close as you could get with 2, like sequences, if you will. So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, Amy Winehouse is probably a huge one. There's a band called Alabama Shakes. There's a band called Houndmouth that I really love, that I've definitely taken so many of his little licks and tricks and just stuck him in our stuff just because I love it.
Yeah.
Lake Street Dive's a great band that we try to take stuff from, as far as not necessarily steal, but we listen to and say, man, we got to do something like that, or like, how the heck did they do that kind of thing?
Right.
So, I mean, like rock, R&B, we have a trumpet player and a female front person, and there's two other of us that sing. So I always tell Amy Winehouse, probably your safest bet if you want a ballpark.
Yeah, because I know you guys do have a female singer, and she is great, by the way.
Hannah does work, man.
Yeah, she is a beautiful voice, man, really.
And 2 of us sing as well. So Heath and I sing as well. So it's a whole mixed bag of sound, man. It's weird.
Well, I think that's what makes you guys unique as well. Is you guys don't sound like anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear the Dividends, and you're like, man, they sound too much like the Killers or even Amy Winehouse or whatever the case may be. You guys don't sound like anybody. You guys sound like the Dividends, and
That's like a blessing and a curse almost. I feel like, because like I feel like, especially with country artists, like you can promote that you're a country artist, and people know exactly what to expect.
And it's almost like an automatic following.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, you're completely.
Yeah, it's almost like an automatic following without even them really hearing or listening to your music or whatever the case may be.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's what gives your all's what you guys are doing, the Dividends, and you individually, so much value, is because you guys are able to, without a genre to attach yourself to, you guys are able to get the following that you guys have, and I'm 100% certain that it will continue to grow.
I hope so. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I do want to get your opinion, because you are much more of a musical expert than myself. I love music, but not talented. What's your top 5? I'd like to get your opinion of top 5 all-time lead singers.
Man.
So what, it can be any genre.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I'm putting Prince way up there.
I like that one.
Like,
I wouldn't have put him on my list, but I wasn't even really thinking about him, but yeah.
I'm thinking too, like, not just vocalists, but overall performers too. Like, I mean, like, I have to consider that as a performer. I have to, because there are people that can sing but are boring as shit.
Right.
Like, and it's boring to watch
like
them.
George Strait or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
terrible.
Exactly.
It's just
like,
sit on a stool or something.
Like, same thing with like Colby Calais. I went to a Colby Calais show, and I was bored to death. Yeah. And she's great, but it was just boring. Yeah.
So, it wasn't like. It wasn't a grand performance, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
I could see she was looking for like where to stand, and like there was little marks on the floor. Like, okay, this part of the concert, I'm going to stand here. It's like, listen, girl, like, I love her voice, and like Sarah Cravens and I used to sing Colby Calais songs back in the day when I first got a guitar. Yeah. But I always have loved Colby Calais' voice, but it's boring. So Prince is probably up there because, again, the entertainment value. Yeah. Freaking Christina Aguilera. Is a monster. Yeah. Like
that's that. I actually was thinking of her too. Like, and she's had her whatever, I guess stereotypes attached to her or whatever. But just got pipes.
Oh,
man.
Dude, control. Yeah. The best example is that she did a song it's called Lady Marmalade, right? With Free Your Lady Marmalade.
It's that.
Do you vocal shake? Whatever. Yeah. Like. Yeah. I can't remember what it's actually called.
It's the
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Yes.
It's off that. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
So, but no diss to the other people on that track, but like Pink and Lil Kim and like somebody else get trained by her. Yeah, just ran over. It
just doesn't even like it's not even the same league.
No, she's just she's a monster in the vocals. Yeah. Who else was next for me? I mean, as much as I don't like Mariah Carey, I'm putting Mariah Carey up there.
I just feel like she's such a terrible person, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like deep down. I mean, obviously she can hit like 8 octaves or whatever it is, but like I just feel like she's not a great person to be around.
Yeah.
I feel like she punches her assistants or something.
She might. She honestly
she beats them up.
Honestly might. On this last road trip we took the Dividends down in West Virginia, we listened to Michael Jackson. Obviously, that's a pretty simple one to come up with, but we were just analyzing it on the way down, just like the way in his inflection and every little nuance of his voice, whether it's like a little tremble or a little like
how he can. Obviously, you can. Explain this more eloquently than I can, but as far as his little like almost whimpers, like in the middle of like hitting a note, and then he does another note, and then it goes up, and it's like wow.
All of that is stuff that only he can do. Yeah, and that's what makes it unique and special. Like, and I don't know if I've even listed these in an order per se, but maybe top 5 for me in general. But like. You hear Michael Jackson sing and then you hear someone cover a Michael Jackson song, rarely are you going to get close with it.
Yeah,
that's
a tough one to get close.
Not. I mean,
it's almost like if someone's covering, I don't know, other than I guess Greta Van Fleet does that now, but like somebody trying to cover Led Zeppelin or really like Guns N' Roses, when somebody tries to cover like Axl Rose's just pitch, it just doesn't. It's not the same. But continue, sorry.
Yeah. I think I'm on number 5 now. I think so.
Yeah, you're close.
I'm gonna throw a local guy in this one.
Okay.
And just because every time I hear him, I'm just like, oh my Lord! Like I just have so much appreciation for it. And now I can't remember his name. He plays for Friendly Fire. Why am I his name's James, I think.
The lead singer for Friendly Fire.
Yeah, he's a band. I feel shitty now because I can't. I'm blank. I'm trying to think of all the people that. Okay, James Harless, I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
Why
can I not remember that? I feel so dumb. Anyway, Friendly Fire is a band from Huntington, and every time I hear this guy sing, I'm just...
Is he, because I haven't heard of him, I can say that. I will check them out now, though. Is he more of like a high pitch, or is he more like
he does both? He does both, and it's just his intensity with it too. And it's not like '70s hair band, like like that real
that's what I'm talking about, like the Axl Rose.
It's not that. It's like
yeah.
It's like a dirty Fall Out Boy almost.
Right.
It's like holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
like, man. Like
maybe that Blink-182 type thing, maybe.
Kinda, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's got just power behind it, but it's also got clarity. And I don't think there's anyone in town or Huntington in the scene that does his voice the same. Like I don't know anyone that sounds like him. So that's why I'm throwing in a local right there. It's like Friendly Fire. Check them out.
Yeah, will do, man.
Like. So
cool.
They're maybe my top 5. Like, I don't know if that's all-time vocalists, but people who I can definitely appreciate the entertainment side, but also
as well as the music
unique side.
Singer side. For me, I'll go through mine real quick. I have to put. I've always, and I know this sounds weird. I might get a lot of flack on this one, but Lady Gaga hits some crazy notes. Miley Cyrus, also hits some crazy notes.
Yep.
And then obviously I've got Jim Morrison, more so because of his songwriting. I guess his voice was good too, and his voice is hard to copy. But mostly his lyrics and songwriting, kind of way before his time. I got Vince Neil from Motley Crue. I got to throw those in there, and then Ozzy. Man.
Oh, wow, yes.
So, and you can't understand what he's saying now, but he sings like, still like he did in the 80s or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow. Somehow, after all the drugs, numerous drugs, so after all the partying, he somehow still does. Coming off that, I know I kind of wanted to get what interests you, or who have you noticed in the past or presently an athlete that has kind of tried to cross over into music and has either done great or has done very, very terrible.
Okay.
either one.
I struggled, and
I did too.
I struggled to find people who've done well.
That was the main part. I struggled to find people that did well, and I don't know if I really found anybody that did well.
The first person I looked into it when I started seeing it was Bernie Williams, and he played for the Yankees, right? Yeah, he played for the Yankees, and I'm trying to find the date. It's from 91 to 2006. He actually had 4 Gold Gloves, but I actually found some videos of him playing on these big stages as a jazz guitar player.
Really?
And it's not just him up there strumming a couple chords and whatever.
It's
Bernie Sanders, not Bernie Sanders, Bernie Williams.
Feeling the burn.
Yeah. It's not like he was up there just like, I used to play for the Yankees. He's up there tearing it up.
Killing it. And somebody that wouldn't even know that he played for the Yankees can tell that
he was up there just being a guitar player, not a celebrity Yankee player like 4 Gold Glove winner. He was up there killing it.
Right.
And I was like, oh my Lord. And it was like
good,
way over my head musically.
Really?
I was hearing stuff, I was like, oh my God, I've never heard that before.
So you don't think what he was doing, you don't think you could have...
I haven't grasped that style yet. Because with jazz and kind of like that Latin sound, I just am not good at that.
Right.
I haven't devoted time to master that.
That's crazy to me too, because I'm just so interested in, because I actually, you're the first guest that actually has some real musical insight and talent and just that insight, and I like hearing your take on those things.
Yeah, man. I don't mean this to sound like whatever, you just being modest, but I would put myself on from a scale to 1 to 10 as far as skill level, not comparing it to anybody, just skill level. I feel like I'm a 4 out of 10 as far as what I even know to this day.
Yeah, from my perspective, I feel like you're way off on that. But
but there's just so many things that I don't know and understand.
Right. And I can see that from somebody that's in it and that wants to learn and wants to get better. And you obviously, if you thought you were the best around, if you thought you were at a 10 right now, what room is there to progress?
Oh Lord, yeah. I mean,
so that's a good mentality to have.
I just, there's so many things I know that are over my head, and even just the understanding of the theory, not even just the technique, because those are different, really. Like, I know people that can play crazy fast but don't understand what they're playing. They just know how to do it with muscle memory.
So they can just hit. It's not like they're reading music or can listen to the
exactly
the riff or whatever.
Exactly. Like, I mean, they might be able to find out like whatever key it's in and be able to shred really fast in that key, but they don't understand that they're playing a Lydian mode with a flat 6 or whatever. Like,
yeah, I have no clue what that
like,
means.
Well, sometimes I don't even know, but like, I'm just saying, I'm still so fresh into so many things. Chris Barker, the guy that plays bass with us, we sit down and try to expand our brains a lot with music and play stuff that we just have never heard. And there's things in music called modes that. So you have like a major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, right? You know that part. So
do, re, mi. That's all. Do, re, mi, fa,
so I don't know. I don't even know how to read music. So this is me like going off muscle memory as well.
Well, that's another thing I kind of wanted to ask you is, so you don't know how to like look at a sheet and read music. So you can't look at like notes and be like, okay, I can.
It would take me a year to learn that way. Yeah. I can't.
So you just got to hear it. And a lot of musicians, I mean, I've seen that, and even famous musicians or whatever, that they can't read music.
Yeah,
I don't think Motley Crue was out there reading notes.
No, not at all. Here's a quick story about the Beatles. Is like I remember hearing the Beatles, and I'm not even a Beatles fan, but it's there. You have to respect it. I mean, it's the Beatles. So I remember Paul McCartney telling a story, not to me, obviously. I don't know Paul on a first name basis, but I remember seeing a video of him, and he was like, "Yeah, we all took a bus ride over there," and it's British, and took his. He was meeting somebody. They met some producer or whatever that they were like trying to figure out what the last chords of a blues progression were. So like in music, it's called like a 1-4-5. So you have like dun 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 dun. There's your one dun 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 dun.
Gotcha.
And the last one dun 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 dun. So they didn't know what that third one was. So and the thing of it, this is the Beatles.
Yeah.
They took a bus across town to hear this producer play the third chord. It's called the turnaround chord. The Beatles didn't know that.
So when they first got started, so at what point, I guess, is this when they found that third chord or whatever, and then they were like, okay, boom.
No, that wasn't like their pinnacle, but like think about that on a musical thing. You know how big the Beatles are. Like that's kind of what I was going back with. Like there are so many things that I don't know and that musicians don't know. And like
music is such a broad subject and broad field. Like and like expertise,
and like I said, there's knowledge of like the theory, but then there's also knowledge of the technique. So like I know people that can read music off a sheet and like they can just play anything they want. I can't do that. I have to hear it. But also I know people that know, like here's a basic part of music theory, and if I'm going way off topic, tell me to shut up. But like basic music theory, please. Like this is just something simple, real quick. Is like, so you have a major scale, the do, re, mi, all that.
Right.
Well, so if you have like...
Shout out to Miss Lemke.
Yeah.
That's great. The music class, thank you.
So you have like, if on the piano, like all the white keys. So, you could just go from C to C, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
Gotcha, yeah.
So like, that's just the normal major scale. But if you took... you're going to be a piano prodigy after this, I'm telling you.
Oh, I can't wait.
The third note in that's called a major third.
Okay.
And this is basic, and I don't know much.
So can you play piano?
Like a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
So you can find your way around a piano.
As long as there's not too many crazy chords.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a lot longer to pick it up on a piano than with a guitar.
Right.
Because I can just hear it on a guitar and understand like where it's even being played.
And what to hit. Yeah.
But like with say like a major third or whatever, so if you take, C is your 1, D is your 2, E is your third. If you flat that, meaning so now you're playing an E flat for your third note, that's all it takes to make a minor scale. Is just one note. Like what I'm saying is like I know people that can just shred and don't know what they're talking about, but I know people that know what they're talking about and may not even be the best, but they know how to use the context and all the knowledge to make stuff sound cool.
To sound better. And they're not just shredding.
Yeah, exactly. Because shredding is boring to me.
Yeah.
I wish I could play fast, but
so the proverbial like 1980s hair band like Slash. Yeah. So like that's kind of boring to you. It's just in a way, which makes sense. I mean, because he can riff, but all his riffs sound the same.
Yeah.
Once he.
I think so. Like, and no disrespect to him or anyone. I wish I could play a lot faster and do a lot of cool shreddy shit. And I know there's a band called Duquesne that these guys are awesome. Another band to check out, Duquesne. Yeah. And their guitar player is this freaking insane shred. He tears up a guitar. And not that he's boring. It's just that I've heard a lot of it before. I'd rather listen to like Kings of Leon and hear them invert chords a certain way or like flavor chords a certain way. That's what gets my ears to turn up. Like I've heard people shred enough, but I like when people use the right context for stuff and they know how to flavor it the right way.
Exactly.
Like shredding, just I've heard it and I've heard it and I've heard it. I just want to hear stuff that makes me go, oh, what was that?
Yeah,
like,
that sounded way different than what I'm used to. Yeah, it catches your ear. I know you brought up Bernie Williams. Who else did you have on your? I
have to shout out Shaq.
Yeah,
I mean that's the first thing that came up. First thing that came up.
Yeah, me too. And I also looked up Kobe. I believe.
Yeah,
had some type of rap. I don't know if it was a rap song, but he had some type of music going on.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to it.
I didn't either, and a lot of it, some of the stuff I was researching was just like, oh, he enjoys playing this. It wasn't. Like it was more like hobby for most people. It seemed like
right,
but but yeah, Shaq alone. Then sometimes, man, you gotta know when to fold
stay
them.
In your lane. yeah, you stay in your lane. That's and not all. I don't mean to say that like if you have passion for something, and obviously they had the financial resources to do whatever they want. But yeah, man, I don't think you're up there with like Biggie and Tupac and and Slim or anything.
You're not dropping the bars. You're probably lowering the bar, but you're not dropping the bars.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
Then
man.
The thing that came to mind too was it the 80? Whoever had William Perry, the team with the Bears.
It's the Bears. 85 Bears, and then actually I'm glad because you stole one of my trivia questions.
Really?
But
oh, okay.
I'm glad I didn't ask it because now I know you knew it. It was the 85 Bears. They did that Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah.
Which was now that I know, I looked it up. That got to number 41 on the Billboard 100, and it said something about going gold and platinum.
Oh my Lord!
I
mean, dude, it worked.
It did work, yeah.
But at the time, that was probably pretty fly though. Like I just said, fly. What on earth? But
well, we are talking about 1985.
True. So I think at the time everyone was like, "That's super hot fire," but just dating it now, dating it now is
the
like
fridge and Jim McMahon out there.
The fridge. NFL Street.
Speaking of that, we're I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. Was I remember growing up with you, our go-to video game was NFL Street.
Yeah,
Volume 1. The OG. Two's kind of garbage, and I think they have a 3, which is even more garbage. Mm-hmm. But NFL Street Volume 1 had the fridge on it.
Oh, dude.
You just straight flattened people.
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
Oh, gosh.
He's a tank.
He's a tank in real life and in a parking lot.
Is he still
NFL
alive?
Street. I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. But I don't think he is. He was a big dude, man.
Yeah,
I think he even got bigger after he retired, and heart problems maybe. I don't know.
Probably so. Yeah.
But I do not think he's alive still.
Can you imagine him running like fullback dive at the goal line? What do you do?
Nothing. you stay there. I mean, you get flattened because you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to look like a pussy, like getting ran over. But you're like. It's almost like, and I'm not gonna lie, I've done it before in football and basketball too, where you're like, I can't look like a pussy in this moment.
Yeah,
I've got to take this hit, but I'm about to get destroyed. So here we go, and I'm sure that's what the defenders going against William Perry.
Can you imagine just like a cornerback trying to fill that gap? Can you imagine just a cornerback trying to fill that gap or something at the goal line?
Yeah,
and just losing their life, like just I can't even imagine.
Oh my God, like. And it's almost like I'm sure you remember like Mike Allstott from he always wore that neck pad, like it made him look more mean. Like dudes like that, but William Perry was over 300 pounds and just it was ridiculous. I remember our Michael Vick on that game.
Oh man,
was all. And we got so into that video game that I remember we'd be out in public places and be like, whoop, because that's what we do on the video game.
We'd just be looking at each other from like 20 feet away, but we'd be like parallel with each other in a huge kind of people like Cedar Point, and like we'd be like looking back and just try to get between these little gaps of people.
Yeah,
and like,
because that's what he did on the video game.
Yeah.
You're like, whoop, whoop. Oh, you just got Vicked. Then another, before we get off the subject of one of the all-time greatest video games ever, I think it was like, it might have been like, I don't know what player did it on the game. I think it was like Javon Curse or like Warren Sapp or something. But when they I can't even say it without laughing, but when they sack somebody, they did that motion like you're breaking a baseball bat or whatever over your knee, and they were like, snap.
Yeah. And the camera would tweak to snap.
Yeah, and it was just like a real quick cut scene. It was like, snap, and then it just go back to the game. It was the most hilarious thing.
That got us every single time. Every time we would get a sack, we'd wait for it.
That was one of the best video games of all time. And I've heard they're trying to like bring it back. I wish
they'd bring back that whole series of like EA and whatever had that whole thing of NFL Street.
NBA Street. NBA Street was great. I loved NBA Street.
And I don't know what made that die.
Yeah, I don't either. I guess Madden. I don't know if like games like Madden and NBA Live had anything to do with like shutting that down. They might, that maybe, but it's part of the same company, so I don't know why they would even do that. And I maybe lost interest, but I don't know why. Because if you don't like those games, you
probably suck
at video games. So you don't know anything about football video games. It kind of talking about that, not NFL Street, but a little bit talking about football. And by the time, so do you think, because we were kind of talking about this before we got on here. So I have, I'll tell you my opinion on it. I have, 2 sons, a third on the way. I don't know. I want them to obviously be athletes. I don't want to be that overbearing, like, who's that quarterback that his dad, like, put all kind of pressure on him, and then Todd Marinovich or whatever. I don't want to be that dad, but I want them to be athletes or something, and not just athletes, something that they have passion for. I don't care I don't care what it is. If you're a ballet dancer, man, but you have passion for it. Take everything seriously and do it. But speaking of football in particular, I don't think I could put my 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old son when they get to that stage in Pee Wee football at this point, because I've seen some of the hits that take place. I kind of wanted to get your take on that. Yeah,
I'm a mixed bag, man, because sports, even though I kind of got out of sports later in high school when I started playing music, sports was a huge part of me growing up. And I didn't play football, but I was always active in sports and everything else. So
that's what built mine and yours bond. We grew up playing basketball together and things like that. So I definitely think the camaraderie is important.
Yeah, that's a huge social and the organization skills and just having like a I guess like the social aspect. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, but like having a team and like a joint goal kind of thing.
So that gives you that, I guess, like attribute that you might not have normally if you're not part of a team, I guess, in a team atmosphere. And it helps you, I believe it helps you in the future.
Yes.
Employment-wise, things like that, having to answer to a boss / coach.
Yes.
So I definitely think, not to interrupt you, but I definitely think that plays a key part in going that.
I think, that's huge too. But going back to like the hits and everything, football, man. I'm so torn. I'm in the middle about it still.
It's such a weird subject because I don't want to be like, and again, I don't want this to come off as me saying that I think that parents who put their kids in Pee Wee football are wrong, because I definitely don't think that. It's just me personally. It scares me, especially with CTE.
Sure.
And the emergence of that in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And not even head injuries, but just if they break their leg the right way in Pee Wee football, it's not going to grow right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's things like that worry me. But that's why I was interested to hear your take on that.
I don't have kids yet. But
keyword.
Yeah. Hopefully one day. Unless something's broken down there, who knows?
No, I have complete faith in you.
Yeah. Thank you. Glad someone does. No, I think when I get to that road, I might feel differently about it. But my initial without kids statement is like, I want them to be a part of it because of the team aspect, because of that. There's a Dave Matthews song that the lyric says, "Think of all the things I never did because I might die trying."
Right, that's true.
Like,
that's true. That's a solid point.
Sometimes you like scare yourself so much out of it, and you talk yourself out of stuff when, I mean, you could technically, not that this is what we're talking about with Pee Wee football death, but like I could die today walking out of this building, but I could also die skydiving.
And which,
you know what I mean?
Which was funner.
Yeah. So I think that has to be in people's minds, and there are facts and science, like that are accurate, that are saying, this could be problematic if you have injuries at this age, but
continue throughout time. Yeah. But
you could also, fall off a curb, twist your ankle, and screw your leg up as a kid, and then maybe do the same thing. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
I feel like technology is getting safer with helmets and gear.
Yes.
So, like, if the kid maybe wants to do it, I want him to at least try it. Yeah. I don't think I want to hold him back from it yet.
Like, if he's absolutely wanting to jump out there on the field. And mine specifically towards football, because just the hits, like, obviously basketball, baseball, whatever, really any other sport, I don't have those reservations and hesitations for, but football is a little different. It's a violent sport, even for kids that age. But I do agree with you. My 6-year-old son was actually in flag football this past year at the Y, and I think it teaches fundamentals. It teaches that, but again, if you, if you play flag football up until high school, and then you try to go there in the high school field, it's not going to be the same.
Not at all. Yeah. I think one thing that's important to think about too is that, 99.5% of these kids are not going to be star athletes.
That's true. Yes.
And
it's
so
all about fun.
And if it's going to be a matter of like having fun versus like maybe getting hurt, maybe there are other options we can pursue, I guess. So I don't know. If they really want to do it, I say go for it. But there is risk involved.
There is. With everything else.
Yeah. So
with everything else.
I don't know. My inclination is to say go for it.
Yeah.
If you get hurt, well, we'll try something else.
We'll cross that. That bridge when we get there. Yeah. I do agree with you, man. I do have my reservations about it, but if I don't think my 6-year-old's going to be the one that wants to take hits, really. But our 1-year-old, he seems like he's going to be that. He uses his head a lot.
Okay.
But he seems like he's going to be that. And you're right. I don't know if he's looking at me saying, hey, Dad, I want to play. I want to play football. I don't know if I could be like, nah, man, it's not safe enough. I don't want to do that. I don't think I could hold him back from that. You're completely right. Kind of leading into that. So, sort of, I guess. When going to pro athletes, pro athletes of any kind, and you start to see really, there's been a spike in recordable depression of pro athletes, observable depression, I guess, and measurable depression, which I don't know if that's something you can measure on a scale, but you know what I mean. And I've definitely seen that, and obviously money doesn't equal happiness. And I kind of wanted to get your take on this as well, because you have dealt with some of these issues in the past, and I know you've been open about talking about them. It really just shows how strong you are as a person, to be able to talk about that and help other people in that realm. What is your take on what happiness? And obviously, I don't want to be like, what's your definition of happiness? But like, how key is happiness, true personal happiness in life, and where did the absence of that take you in your life, and how did that help you become the person you are today? Yeah,
Chris is my best friend. He plays bass in the Dividends, and this is something he told me that I think about this honestly every single day,
right?
Because for a lot of reasons, but he wanted to point out to me one day that happiness isn't something that, it's not like the end of a video game where once you finish it, you beat it and you're happy. It's something that comes and goes, just like sadness or anxiety or any emotion. It comes and goes just like anything.
Yes.
But there are things that you can do to increase the amount of time that you're happy. So that's where like therapy came in, and music and passions and stuff that I enjoy come in. because that happiness comes and goes,
right?
Just like anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, but just because I went and got help, and just because I went to a therapist and everything, I didn't go away. All my stuff didn't go away.
Yeah, it wasn't like a cure-all, end-all, be-all.
I wish that'd be awesome, but
Yeah.
there are days where I gotta talk myself out of the freaking depths still, and.
Yep.
I mean, this weekend was not one of those weekends, but there have been times where even before we play music, even whatever, doing something I love, I am absolutely not even there mentally.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to. I'm glad that you made that kind of point. So it's not like, and I'm sure music helps you with that, and I'm sure, like you said, therapy helps you with that. Do you see music as an outlet to kind of get rid of that, or is it just something that it's something that is always going to be there, and other people deal with it too, and how they get over things or how they deal with things throughout their life. There's not one way, obviously, as you know. Does music help more than anything else to kind of get you out of the depths, as you would say?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that I love, so like on paper, yeah.
But it's not a black and white thing.
Yeah, it's not like I've been terribly depressed and angry or whatever on stage. I mean, it's just where my mind was at, or
right?
Whatever.
Does that change your music or your ability at that time to?
I don't know. I don't know. I would say that like a majority of the time, I'm way happier than I am sad playing music by far. Because I feel like all those endorphins being released, and you're just in the moment. Nothing else matters when you're on stage.
Yeah.
Like there have been times where obviously if there's something crazy going on or like whatever,
it might have your attention. At that moment.
It's more. That's exactly it. It's more of my attention's not where it needs to be. And Jared, who played drums with us this weekend, was like, he's like, don't forget to be in the moment this weekend. He said that. And I was like, you're absolutely right. Because I was just venting to him about some stuff with like some of the administrative work with the band and stuff.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
But I mean, music is performing, especially. Nothing else matters except for that hour or however long you're on stage. And I feel like absolutely 100% myself up on stage.
That's awesome. That's what's important. I mean, that's what's important. And I know, and I'm sure it is difficult. To kind of, I don't know if it is for you now, but I know sometimes I'm sure it can be difficult to maybe share that kind of stuff or go that. So that's why I think it shows how, one, I think you're, and the other, I guess, stages, not musical performing, but the other platforms that you've kind of went into depth about this issue, about mental health and how important it is.
Yeah.
I think that's really, I know that's really touched a lot of people and helped a lot of people, your ability to do that. Like I said, I am really appreciative of it, because hearing you talk about that and hearing somebody actually like be open about it, I know helps a lot of people, me included, get through some tough times. So
I feel really lucky to be on top of my mental health now, because like I feel like I'm tapping into stuff that wasn't there. It was always there, but I wasn't able to do anything with it. And one of the things I've been gifted with by God or the universe or whatever is the ability to influence people. I guess you call it that, but I have a gift of gab. I can talk, and I've noticed like people tend to listen to me. People listen to what I have to say.
Well, you know how to, because one, you're articulate. You can make points clearly for everybody to understand, and two, you do have a gift of like persuasion. Maybe you should be a salesman or something.
Yeah.
But no, man. It is very evident to see those skills. Not even in some little setting like this, but even on stage through music, or whether it be through actually just talking and getting on those platforms.
We talked about passions earlier. I don't know if it was before we recorded or not, but one of the things that I love seeing is when people are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And it's evident, and there's something about it that I just love seeing it, dude. And there's like this African dance group that came to OU one day from Africa, like straight up from like South Africa, and they were performing in the United States. And that was the first time I ever remember like feeling that in my mind. Like I remember I teared up watching them, and I was standing by myself watching this group, and there was something about them knowing exactly that this is exactly what they're supposed to do with their life, and there was something magical about that. And I feel like everyone has that, and it's a matter of tapping into it. And it's always there. Some people don't know what to do with it yet, and I didn't know what to do with this. I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't want to be on this freaking earth. So like, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Whether that's
you feel a sense of purpose. And
there's a lot more purpose, and when I forget that is when I start feeling low. When I start forgetting all that is like, that's when I get lost. Sometimes.
Well, I think that it's and bouncing off your point there, because that's a very great point, very well spoken. And I think it's if we don't have passion in something as humans, as a society, if you do not have passion in something and you're just treading through life. Now, I'm not saying that just because you have passion for something, your mental health is awesome and through the roof and whatever, and everything's roses and stuff. It's definitely not that, but I think passion is definitely a guiding force into opens new doors in future, currently, whatever the case may be, and can even close some in the past that you've left open.
One of the things I tell people a lot, and I make it sound like I'm like the Dr. Phil. Like, I always tell people this. It's not that. It's just,
but again, not to what I mean. But you do help people. I mean, you do reach out to people. So when you say that, I don't want you to like water it down, because in an essence, I understand you're not Dr. Phil, but in an essence, you help people. So it's just as valuable. But sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's a fair point. I'm glad you said that, because it made me realize that I'm doing important shit. Like, maybe remember again.
You are. Don't forget that.
I tell people, like, again, I mentioned like happiness is not something that's just like a finish line goal. Like, you got to, work. It's like working out. You got to constantly work out to stay healthy. But one of the things that I challenge people, and this is a challenge I do every day, is you got to hold yourself accountable. And what I mean by that is, like, today we made this podcast a priority. We could have went with our family or slept or did something else, but this was our priority today. So, for example, like, if I'm tired after work, there could be a billion other things I need to do, but if I go to sleep, like, sleep is my priority. If you start thinking of your life like that, like, it doesn't mean that one is worse than the other. It just means
what's your
like,
priority at that moment.
Like, so, like, if I have a doctor's appointment and I don't go, well, my health isn't my priority. It's whatever else it was. It's not good or bad. It's just that sentiment alone has made me like reevaluate the things that I do on a daily basis. And again, if I want to take a nap, sleep is my priority. I'm tired. That's my priority. But man, I got to do something about my mental health. That's my priority. I need to make sure that this is done. The band is my priority or whatever. And I feel like using that as a test, a litmus test, if you will, has really changed how I think about stuff. Like, it's not that one is good or bad. It's just that, like, doing this podcast today was a priority, so we're doing it. Like, and when you start using that in your everyday life, there's something about that like,
it
holds
almost
you
like
accountable.
It holds you accountable, and it's almost like a revitalization of passion, of really just get your thoughts clear. I think I definitely understand what you're saying, for sure. I do want to say, like, and again, I know how, because I'm not the most open person, and that can be very negative in professional and personal aspects. So that's why I admire you being able to be that open and help other people. And no matter what that does to yourself or whatever the case may be, which I think it helps you. In a way, for sure. But I don't think that's your main concern when you do things like this. I think what I see is your main concern is helping other people. Although it does help you, I'm sure. It
does, man. And like I said, I've been gifted by the universe and God and everything to, like, this is what I do well with speaking. So like, it feeds into that, like, I'm already innately given these things. And like, when I was going through a lot of this stuff, there was a couple people who knew that I was self-harming and everything, but I didn't tell people. The whole persona around me was that, like, Alan's this happy, jovial dude that's just goofy and fun. Exactly. And, like, everyone considered me that. So I played into that. I didn't want people to know. I told a few people, like, what I was doing and what I was going through. But there hit a point, dude, where, especially in late 2017, that it was bad. Yeah. Like, my arms were in terrible shape. And I was, like, the first time I tried to kill myself, I tried to overdose. Yeah. And no one knew that. But everyone saw me as like, that's Alan, dude. That's Alan. What's up? And I'm like, yep, I'm here. Yeah. Y'all have no idea. Like,
but not really here.
Like, exactly.
Yeah. I'm here, but not really here.
I go to C3 Church in South Point, and I wore long sleeves days playing because my arms are like trash. Yeah. There was a day where it was one of the days where I tried to overdose, and it felt like a hangover. And I'm up there at church. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever told anybody that specific story, but like at church, and I'm stumbling and I'm dizzy and I'm about to throw up, and no one knows that I literally tried to overdose the night before. And I'm up there. It's oh dude, you played so well. We love watching you play. Like
no one, but no one knows below surface level what's going on. Yeah. And that's why I think it's so. And again, not to repeat myself, but it's so important. What you're doing, and it shows the kind of strength that you have, not only for yourself, but the kind of strength you have as a person to help other people. And it's great. And I can see personally that I know we both have lives. We've branched off since high school and things like that. But I can see personally, I feel like you're in a better place. Yes. Than you were, and you have helped countless people, myself included, get to better places than they were. In essence, kind of lift their spirits. And that's kind of a hollow statement, but in essence, lift them up from where they were at.
Yeah, it's more about being rational too, because like my brain, even now, even still, I have to be in check, and I have to ask a couple of people. I'm like, I'll say something like that, whatever's in my mind that's just completely stupid, right? And just to be like, okay, what do you think of this? And they tell me, nah, dude, like let's reverse engineer that, and they'll give me the reasons why, how stupid and irrational what I'm thinking is. But that's one of the things that is so hard to grasp, because like when I was very suicidal, it was. Nothing made sense. I mean, you weren't going to be able to talk me out of it until it passed. And here's a crazy thing is like what I learned in therapy, which is, this sounds so crazy to repeat, but it makes sense in my mind now, was that like when I would cut and stuff and do that was like my pressure relief valve, and that was my way of controlling that situation.
So you needed a new pressure relief valve.
I needed that, but I was very control. It was about control. Like whenever certain elements are out of my control and I wasn't able to grab them or rationalize them or whatever, that was like, okay, this is what I feel like I deserve. I can control this. This is what makes me feel better right now. And that sounds so freaking nuts, because I laughed when my therapist told me that at first. I was like, all right.
Right, yeah.
But the more I thought about it was, and I see it now with like me being in control of stuff, and I don't mean I'm like,
a control freak.
Yeah, but it's just...
Well, you need to be a control freak with your own life.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that you need to be a control freak with your own life. Yeah, because I mean, and not in I guess an unhealthy way, but I mean, you've got to nail down what's important to you and what's not important to you, and like you said, rational versus irrational thoughts. You've got to be able to distinguish between the two.
Yeah, and it's so hard to do because therapy wasn't like this like magic pill that was like, all right, I get it. It was more about getting tools and getting perspective to say.
Well, it was almost like mental. Not to interrupt you. It was almost like mental health exercise. Yeah, like you said, you've got to work out to keep your physical health good. Yeah, and eat right. Well, you've got to do the same things for your mental health. In the same way.
There are so many like just little tangled balls of yarn and just floating around my head that I didn't know how to manipulate. I didn't know how to make a blanket, so to speak, with a bunch of yarn. Right. And that's what the therapist does, is kind of takes those strands and says, okay, here's the yellow strand, here's the red strand, here's the blue strand.
Pieces it together.
And lines them out, and it gives you such a grasp on it. like people can't see this, but I'm talking with my hands a lot, and I'm sitting here pulling balls of yarn out of the air. But like, that's exactly what therapy is, man. It takes like a big clump of just yarn and just, okay, here's this one. Here's
let's untangle this.
That's like the best description of therapy I can give anybody.
That's a very good description. Well, I do want to say, again, I do appreciate really you being able to talk about it in my words. I'm sure you've had numerous people tell you how much they appreciate it and having you on. And, you know, not that my words are more valuable than anyone else's, but it means a lot, man. It means a lot what you do. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
And I respect the hell out of you for it.
Thank you, man. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to talk about it because I wasn't able to talk about it.
I'm glad that, one, you're able to talk about it now, and two, I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough on this platform to be able to do that. And hopefully this helps anybody who's listening, anybody out there, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not always a constant drain.
Yes. Exactly.
So, you know, coming off that very, very important subject of mental health, we are coming to our hopefully fan favorite of trivia. Trivia is always brought to you by our sponsors, Sleepy Pelican Travel Group and the Bar on 3rd. Please reach out to Sleepy Pelican for any of your travel needs, whether it's cruise, flights, hotels, trips, family trips, one-day stays, business trips, rental cars, whatever the case may be. Reach out to them at Sleepy Pelican TG and check out the Bar on 3rd in Ironton, Ohio. They have a lot of events coming up, so check out their page at Bar on 3rd. We also, like always, have another special guest on the trivia.
Yeah.
That is, and I know Alan's excited for it. That is the whiskey. So this week we have the Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey. It is out of Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, we're gonna see how this goes, how smooth it is. Kind of like Alan's voice, just real smooth.
Smooth as cream cheese.
The whipped cream cheese.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna I'll go first, I think, because I want you to end up with the last question, or whatever the case may be. However it ends up, okay. I can never think that far ahead. That's why I'm terrible at chess. So I'll go with the first question. Everybody knows the rules. You miss a question, gotta take a shot. This awesome.
This might be rough for me.
They're pretty softball questions.
All right.
Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey out of Louisville, Kentucky. And here we go. First question. All right. Who is the quarterback that has been sacked the most in NFL history in the regular season? Most all-time sacks. It is. I will give you a hint. It is not a player. It's a retired player.
Okay.
And it's a player that you know, though.
Okay.
It's a quarterback you know.
It's not some random third string.
No.
All right.
It is not.
See, this is when I told you.
It's not Todd Marnovich or whatever.
This is what I told you. Like, I have no sports knowledge, but this is gonna make it fun. My gut tells me something. Like, I don't know why. No, it's not him either.
So I'm gonna try to help you out. Well, I'm not gonna give you too much.
Don't give me too much.
All right, go ahead.
There's just so many to choose from. Because I want to say Brett Favre for some reason. I don't know why, but just because his longevity in the NFL.
He was in the league for a long time.
So that's what I have no idea, but that's what I'm going for because of just how long. It's like how many Xboxes red ringed compared to PS2s or whatever. Because the Xbox sold so many more, so there's going to be more cases of it. That's kind of where my rationale is. Yeah. So, but I have no idea. But I'm going with Favre.
You are correct.
Are you serious?
Sir. Yes.
Holy crap! Are you serious?
I swear. You are correct.
No way.
My good sir.
That was a complete guess. Oh my god.
He was sacked over. I wish I still had the stat in front of me. I think it was over 4,000 times. Or something ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he played for 20 seasons.
Right. So, okay. My rationale worked. All right. We're in good shape.
I don't know. It might have been 400 times. No, it was 4,000. Whatever it was. It was a freaking lot.
That's it was a lot. I truly cannot believe I just got that right.
Yeah. He pulls that Favre magic. All right. So your question.
All right.
No shot for you. Good job, sir.
All right. So trying to think of how to word this better. It's going to be like one or the other kind of thing.
Cool.
So Shaq.
Yep.
Did he miss closer to 5,000 free throws, or did he miss closer to 6,000 free throws?
So if it's either on one side of 5,500 or the other side of 5,500?
Yes.
First
of all,
6,000 free throws. Gosh.
Keep in mind, he's throwing a baseball at the rim.
Yeah, he did it one-handed, which was weird. I don't know, even if you're that terrible, why would you do it one-handed?
I don't know. I think he was getting desperate after a while. He's like, we got to do something, coach. I don't know.
I really don't know how to shoot.
I need help.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to go, I have to go closer to 6,000. I have to go in the 5,800 range.
No, sir. Actually, according to this, he missed 5,300.
Oh my gosh, that's a shot for me.
But I was surprised though, because I was thinking. I mean, I just assumed the worst because he also had a longer career.
He had like a 18-year career.
Yeah.
Or 20.
Is that a decent question? Is that style cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know how
I
else
love that question. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I don't love it because I'm taking a shot of Bullet Bourbon right now. But yeah, good question.
All right. Let's see.
Oh. That's Kentucky's finest right there. Second question for me.
Mm-hmm.
All-time rushing attempts in NFL history, running back.
Okay.
All-time. Obviously, it'll be a running back, but all-time. And this player is obviously also retired.
Okay.
But it is a player that you would know.
Yeah, it has to be Barry Sanders.
Is that your guess?
That's my guess.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
It is Emmitt Smith.
Oh, wow.
And he also had just a long
yeah.
career for a running back.
Yeah. Shots up.
What is interesting, Frank Gore is on that list at 5th all-time rushing attempts. And he's still playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Also, random quick thing about Frank Gore. He got the Wonderlic test that they give to athletes when they come in, kind of to test their intelligence, maybe, decision making and stuff. So a good score is close to 50, like that's like a genius level. He got a 6, which is basically almost illiterate when he came in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, but great running back though.
Yeah, so, he's got muscles. Yeah.
So yeah, great running back. But yeah, that is a
shot
on
time.
you.
All right.
How good is that?
Second one's better.
Yeah, that's what I say. Second one's better.
That's pretty. That's warming, man. If you in the winter, if you drink that stuff, that's warm.
Yeah.
I like it.
Have some chili with it.
Oh yeah. All right. So here's a multiple choice.
Okay, cool. I haven't had a multiple choice yet. I'm excited about this.
All right. So we're gonna find out what country has like the largest bowling alley, and by that I mean like the amount of lanes.
What country?
Has
the largest bowling alley?
Yeah, it's not in America. It's not United States.
Okay.
So between.
Good question.
Let me think of the others real quick. All right, so between Saudi Arabia, Japan, and like Great Britain.
Okay, so
like
Saudi Arabia, Japan, Great Britain.
Yeah, which one of those has like
the bowling alley with the most lanes, the largest, probably most extravagant? Okay, so I'm gonna go. The only reason I'm going with this guess is because they are super, super rich, and they have so much oil money, and I mean money. I'm gonna go with Saudi Arabia.
I wish that was correct.
Oh my! I'm getting
actually killed. Japan.
Oh really?
Yes.
What do they even?
Right?
I've never seen a Japanese bowler. I mean, really?
I never have either.
You ever seen a Japanese bowler?
I've never seen. I don't know if I've seen.
That's like the Jamaican bobsled team. Like I don't understand.
Like there's probably like one bowler that's good in Japan that he's just like racking in money. Like
he runs side hustles all over Japan, and they probably have like computer chips in their bowling balls.
Oh yeah,
or put like some crazy curve on it.
So in Anazawa, I think that's how you would say it. It opened in 1972, and it's got 116 lanes. So if you imagine going to like Spare Time in Ironton, but like times 80.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, but yeah, in Japan they have the world's largest bowling alley.
Wow.
Saudi Arabia's a good guess because you would think, they're just over the top there.
Just because they have so much money.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah, great question. And thanks for the history lesson on bowling in
Listen,
Japan.
man,
That's
I'm
awesome.
obviously a pro bowler.
Yeah. What's your average score?
I'm going to say sub 100. I think 120 is probably the highest I've probably ever rolled. But I also don't bowl a lot. But yeah. So maybe if I put some work in.
Bowling's one of those sports that I feel like if you were good. Okay, so bowling's like golf to me in a way that if you practice. Okay, so I don't know if golf's like that. Bowling, if you practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and then had the right equipment and then practiced some more and that's all you did, that's your focus.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't have to be like an athletic freak
to
be a great bowler.
Plus, think about it's all indoor and the lanes are probably going to be, I don't know how much difference the oil and the wax makes, but
I'm sure that it does differ between lanes, and I'm sure hopefully there's some bowling expert that's listening to this right now that's like, oh my God, I can't believe there's so much difference in every lane. But
yeah,
I'm sure there's some difference in every lane. So, but yeah, so here goes the shot. Right. I am 0 for 2. I don't think I've ever lost a trivia on this show. So
you're about to be softballs though.
You are about to be. You'll probably get this next one too. It's a music one, but yeah, you'll probably get it. Now I feel bad for giving you freaking softballs. All right, so here we go. Here's a shot.
Yeah, dude. In the winter, this stuff would be so warm. Oh,
yeah, actually would. It's actually really good. It's better than the Bullet whiskey from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. It's actually better than that. I like the bourbon better. Some about it, just smooth kind of. All right, it is my turn, right? Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Okay. Which country pop singer? Okay, music question for you.
Yeah.
Famous country music pop singer. Is real name, or her real name, is Eileen Regina Edwards. It's a famous country woman, country music star, obviously. Eileen Regina Edwards.
Wow, I have no clue. That's a hard one because of the people have.
You know who she is.
It's crazy because people have names that sound like real names, but it's not their name. When they perform. So I'm trying. I feel like
if I tell you this, then you'll automatically know.
Yeah, don't tell me what they sing or anything.
No, it's not what they sing. Okay, so I'll tell you after you guess. If
Eileen.
You can't. I'm going to tell you. Don't look too much into the name Eileen because it's not anywhere in her name.
Because people be tricking you and shit. Because Miranda Lambert's obviously a real name, but sometimes people have simple names like that, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like Nick Cage. Right? Yeah, I don't think that's his name. I don't think that's his real name.
There's so many people. Or you could be like 50 Cent, whose name's like Curtis Jackson, but not the same.
But 50 Cent's a fake name.
Yeah, so. Some of them are like, really? It's not his name?
Yeah.
Man, I have no idea. I feel like Carrie Underwood's a legit name. I'm going with Dolly Parton. It's
a little old.
Okay.
It's a good guess. It's a little old.
Okay.
Do you want another one? I will give you.
No.
You don't want another one.
Let me shoot it if I'm wrong.
All right.
Let's hear it. That's my answer.
That's your answer.
Yeah,
final
I
answer.
have no idea.
Okay. So I was gonna say my clue was gonna be that every teenage boy in the early 2000s had a crush on her, including me. Major crush.
Kelly Pickler?
No. Shania Twain.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Shania Twain. Kelly Pickler.
Coming out of the depths for Kelly.
Kelly Pickler. No, Shania Twain. So,
okay, wow.
I was obsessed with her.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's a legit, that could be a real name.
Yeah, that could be a real name. I guess I should have said that her stage name could be a real name too.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have got it either way.
Yeah. But yeah, it is Shania Twain.
All right, I'll shoot it. I have no idea. Oh, I need some more.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I'm trying to make sure I got my last question.
Go ahead and get your next question ready.
All right. See, I don't know how accurate this one is, though, because I couldn't find, because it says something about being in 2011. Okay. I think I have a way to word this.
Okay.
So the source I was looking at, just to double check, is it seems so weird to me, especially now. But apparently in 2011, which one of these teams didn't have cheerleaders in the NFL.
In the regular, didn't have cheerleaders up until 2011, or didn't have cheerleaders that season? Because I know it's not the Dallas Cowboys.
See, I don't know. That's such a weird one to word.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. So, okay, let me switch that one up because that's going to be too weird. Okay.
So what? I kind of want to know the answer now.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Jaguars. Was it the Jaguars that was on the answer to that question you were about to ask?
So one of them was the Bears, the Browns, Giants, Lions, Packers, and Steelers are 6 NFL franchises without cheerleading squad, and have won 7 of the last Super Bowls. But that's not like current though. That's not like.
So I feel like the Packers have cheerleaders. I feel like
maybe because it's so cold up there.
That's true. Not a lot of cheerleaders are going to stand out in Lambeau Field in negative 25-degree weather with ice on the field cheering. Yeah, that's a good point. Do you have it? You got another?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you were a cheerleader at Lambeau Field.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean you'd have. I don't even know how good of a cheerleader you'd be. You'd just be stiff, falling and slipping everywhere, cracking. Ice coming out of your nose. Yeah. Like,
all right, I got one for you. I need to take a shot still, him.
Yeah. Shout out to Shania Twain. You still look good.
Oh yeah. All right, so Randy Johnson threw a baseball, hit a bird or pigeon or whatever that was.
Yes, I remember that.
I was at the Appalachian Power Park watching a game the other day with my friend Molly, and friend kind of seeing each other. I don't know what's going on.
Nice.
But we're very close. I like her a lot. She's cool.
Yeah,
and
that's all that matters.
She saw a bird, and she was like, "Has anyone ever hit?" She literally asked me the question. She's not a sports person at all. And she was like, "Has anyone ever hit a bird with a baseball?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes. Killed it.
So,
exploded
it. Nuclear, like, bomb.
It wasn't on this earth anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So what year was that?
Oh, great question. Awesome question.
I will say it was before 2007 and after 2000. So there's a 7-year stretch there.
7-year stretch there. Okay. That narrows it down for me because I was about to guess late 90s. So that narrows it down. Great question. He destroyed that bird.
Oh my God, dude.
God. Let's go. I feel like 2003 was such a year for things to happen. Like I think LeBron went to the NBA in 2003 and I don't know what else cool happened in 2003. That's the only thing I got. So I'm going to go with 2003, that he exploded and ended that bird's life.
You're close, but it's 2001. It's actually in March 2001.
Great question.
I
like those. I like those hardball questions.
Thank you, man. I should have narrowed it down maybe a little bit more.
No, that's all right. No.
I wasn't going light on you because you're a lot more sports knowledgeable. So, but it was during the 7th inning of a spring training game against the Giants. And the batter was actually Calvin Murray. And it was a dove. It wasn't a pigeon. It was actually a dove.
Why does that make it worse?
Well, because like doves were used, like Noah apparently in the Bible used the dove to find land and stuff. So, but yeah,
that makes it so much worse that it was a dove. Like everybody's like it's a pigeon. It's like he messed that bird up.
Street rat. Yeah,
and then he rat with wings, and then he, which is a bat, by the way. Those things are gross. But it was a dove, and everybody's like, not a dove.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
On top of that, Randy Johnson, he actually threw a fastball as well. It wasn't like he could pitch really fast, but of course the ball that hits the bird is a fastball of all things.
Well, he's one of those pitchers. He was like 6'10".
Yeah.
And lanky, mullet.
Yeah.
And mustache, straight mustache and mullet, bro. That's how you do lefty. And he had pitches throughout his prime in the hundreds, like 103, 104, and it looked like that's what he hit that dove with.
Oh, dude, it was a freaking bomb.
That was one of his 105ers that everybody's like, oh my gosh, they have to check their speed guns for a second time.
It looks like while you're taking this shot, they're saying 102 was one of his highest clocked, but he is averaging was in the hundreds at times,
which is crazy.
Like average pitch
averaging 100.
Like
a pitcher averaging 100 miles an hour fastball. That's nuts. And that if you hit somebody in the head with that, dude, that's killing them.
That's like
especially back then.
Oh, dude, yeah, the helmets were made out of these cheap ass freaking flimsy ass things.
And I'm sure that to get some competitive advantage, they like hollowed out the inside or something to run faster or something. I don't know. But yeah, man, that does it for our trivia. Alan, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure.
It couldn't have been a better episode. I love having you. Love having catching up with you. Love talking NFL Street with you. And hopefully we can do this again very, very soon.
Definitely, man. I'd love to.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.